Welcome to episode 449 of This Week in League. I'm Nate.
And I'm Jay.
And I have the voice of an angel, apparently. Or I'm going to.
No, auto-tune episode was last week.
Yeah.
Make me a superstar, Nathan. Make me a star. Paint me like one of you French ladies.
I gotta tell you, I'm glad.
Couldn't do it.
I'm glad we've made it, boys. I'm glad we've made it. We are so far beyond our basement podcast origins.
Yes.
That now we have people complaining about the sound quality.
Mm-hmm.
And not because it is poor sound quality.
Not people, cunts.
And I would like to point out that people that complain about the sound quality of podcasts are exactly the same as people who correct grammar on the internet. So, if you go to jail, you'll be put in protective. Put it that way.
Oh, the depth of the multiple cuts that were just delivered. Now, look, we're a little bit late this week. Now, so I guess I should say, how you going, fellas? How are you, Glennie?
I'm fine, thanks.
Are you all right, mate?
I'm waiting for this.
I want to tell you a story. I'll tell you a story.
I'm going to tell you a story. It's about a cunt named Nate.
Zip. Now, listen. I'll tell you a story. Like Friday, not last Friday, but the Friday before. Thursday, I should say. I took my 10-year-old daughter to get her second vaccine. She's in the cohort from, like whatever the little kids cohort is. It's like age 10 to 15 or whatever, whatever it is. So they had to have like a couple of months between their first and second. So she had the first one in January. The second one was turned out it was Friday, and it was fun. I did such a great job of distracting her while the nurse was sort of getting it together and everything. The nurse said, "Okay, we're done," and she was stunned. I'd done such a great job distracting her. She didn't even realise the needle had been there, and she did, and she had no adverse effects. It's fine. So anyway, fast forward to Sunday night, we get a text message. We get a texter, as they say in Canberra. Fellas, I was going to paraphrase without reading it. Fellas, do you mind if we record on Monday night because I had my booster and I'm feeling poorly or something. What's he say?
It's robbed me.
Yeah, it's rolling me. So I assume they sprayed you with the Esche formula and it fucking took your shoes. It took your TNs right off your feet.
Fuck.
And so we were like, we were always kind of variable between Sunday and Monday night. So we were like, yeah, whatever, it's all fine. And then yesterday afternoon, hey lads, would you guys have any major issues recording tomorrow night? I'm still fucked.
Proper fucked me up. I'm still fucking got chills. I had fucking fevers again last night.
Is that from a movie?
Is that from Jurassic Park or something?
Well, yeah.
No, Sunday evening I was not good. Yesterday I was proper fucked up. It was not good. So couple of nights of fevers. Still, like I said, still got chills sitting here now. And not a great deal of fun. Battled through today. Good to see your smiling faces, and always feel better about myself. You pack of cunts.
As you should. Hey, did you feel in? Did you feel?
To be fair, Jay, you've been caught in a drive by there, mate, because you've actually been positively delightful. It's this other piece of shit over here on the left.
This is how to be an opportunistic cunt. I don't actually have to be delightful. I just had to reply, yeah, no worries, mate.
Yeah.
And wait for me to say something cunty. And I didn't actually say anything bad. I was just trying to regale that story to him about how I just said... It was really.
He's so passive aggressive. No, I didn't.
You took it the wrong way.
Don't gaslight me, motherfucker.
It's just like sitting back and waiting for Robbie Farah to white-hand a Tigers coach. Like it's coming. I know it's coming.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I was concerned because I'd just seen my 10-year-old daughter have her second shot with no, like, it's like nothing happened.
I've got to be honest with you.
Worried,
I went in with my 8-year-old son.
Glenn might have been one of these people I hear about. Like, I believe it's something, circa 95% of people who get the vaccination, they have these adverse reactions and die. I mean, like the kid from the Foo Fighters, I mean, he was vaccinated and look what happened to him last week. Now,
Kid
I was just worried about
50
you,
years
that's
of
all.
age. That's bullshit. But I went with my 8-year-old son, and he skated through no problem. So
Built different, as they say.
It's funny you should say that, actually, because Jackson has taken to saying that about himself just recently. I'm like, mate, you got to stop saying shit like that because it sounds really arrogant. It's true, Dad. Just shut up, mate.
Yeah, he's not lying, though. He's not lying.
No, he's certainly built different to me.
Tell you what, speaking of built different, I'd also like to start off by giving a massive shout out to the Brisbane Whiz Kids junior basketball team.
Champions.
Who, so this is a group of kids in basketball up here. They run, before you get to comps, they run skills workshops that the kids go to weekly. And they decided to get a group of the kids from those workshops who were under 9 and run them in the under 11s competition in Division 3.
Yeah, and
Right?
and under 9 includes, and I know this is by very definition, not 8, but also 7.
Yes, so Stepdad Junior, who is 7, played with
He's
a bunch of
been
9-year-olds
jammed into the against the 11s.
in an under 11s team division, and they won their grand final
Yeah, good.
That's
on
great.
Saturday morning. And so he's had his little gold medal around his neck at every waking moment, just reminding everyone
Fuck you, Dad.
that they were the champions. But
Here's your fucking gold medal, Dad.
yeah,
Built
exactly.
different. He's built different too.
How many grand finals you won, Dad?
So good.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. Let's talk about the football.
Let's.
Round 3, it's come and gone, and I am having very patchy memories of what went down because now this is Tuesday. I don't know how we used to fucking do the full weekly things.
Oof.
On a
Like in the
Thursday,
middle of the
Wednesday,
week.
Thursday.
Wednesday, yeah. I don't know how we did it, but anyway, Thursday night, and I think it's probably Thursday night football. I mean, that was something that was only brought into the game. We've been doing the show by years before they wanted to add another ancient history game to our recaps. But
And we had Monday, which was always a shit game, and for better or worse, was always still in our memories by Wednesday.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's right. And so Thursday night's game was the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks 36 defeated the St. George Illawarra Dragons 12. The Sharks 36 tries to Katoa, Nico Hines, Ikavalu, Talakai Ramian, and Braden Hamlin-Ueli. Nico Hines 5 conversions and a penalty goal. The Dragons 12 points came through tries to Jack Bird and Jack Gachevsky with 2 conversions to Lomax.
Just like that, the Dragons and the worst fan base in the fucking comp are put squarely back in their box where they belong. Pretty impressive performance from the Sharks, I thought. Jaden Sewer was put on report again and
Sent off again. Well, sorry,
Yeah,
binned
sent
again.
binned
Binned
again.
again,
Yeah.
Binned again.
I feel like he's in a position now where he has to temper his aggression because he's essentially he's getting into that Radley sort of territory now where, and there's a few other players in the NRL where if it's there or thereabouts, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
The thing with his game is to temper his aggression diminishes his impact on the team. And I thought he was he was potentially one of the real buys of the year. Be interesting to see, Radley's made a big song and dance about not changing his approach or his technique or whatever, but he's been put on report twice in 3 games. It's fucking dangerous territory.
You know what? Here's the thing, and this comes, I guess, from dealing with regulators in the workspace. But essentially, I see this as almost no different. If I'm the Dragons, I'm on the phone to Annesley fucking first thing Monday morning and saying, first of all, Let me put you at ease. We're not blowing up here. We're not asking for anything. What we want from you is to tell us how much he needs to change his tackling technique by and what's considered acceptable. Because it really does seem to me that if you're attempting to drop yourself and lower yourself, that the referees or the bunker are at least taking technique into account. That if you have lowered yourself to a sufficient standard, that seems to go in your favour when we're talking about people getting binned. And then you make a big fucking song and dance in the press about how you've done this, and you've hired a specialty coach, and you want to work with the league, and you want them to be aggressive, still be able to tackle, but do it within their boundaries, and essentially then dare them to send you off after you've made such a big fucking song and dance.
So if Jaden Stewart was to start raping people, allegedly, is that a low enough standard for him to drop to skate through, like the rest of his teammates? You said he's got to lower his standards.
No, as in lower yourself physically. Drop your shoulders.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck, we found another side effect of the vaccine. Horrible jokes.
Still fucking sweating. It's not good.
But fuck, Cronulla played well.
Sorry.
They were quick. They were precise. They were sharp. Round one, they looked like they hadn't ever played with each other before. But far out, whatever Fitzgibbon's doing, he's fixing that real quick smart.
Yeah. I thought Will Kennedy was good as well. He's benefiting from Nico Hines and his ball playing, and he's finding a bit more space. And, you know, they look a far better side for it, I reckon.
It's funny, just like I mean, like last year they were essentially uncoached. I mean, but so any difference in the structure and their attacking shapes is going to, you know, probably take effect. But like they just look so much better, and it's on both sides of the field as well. And Nico, I mean, Sharks fans would have had great hope in, you know, what Nico could bring to the side, but I think he'd have to be surpassing their expectations. In terms of just how creative and but like, you know, controlled creativity that he's bringing in the halves. He's not just this guy. He's not like, you know, just this explosive, you know, playmaker, like, you know, like big playmaker like he was at the Storm. I mean, he's actually settling into. He's becoming like a good half.
Yeah, that's it. John in the Facebook group, he said, "Did anyone else assume that Wade Graham retired? Shocked to see he was returning in round 6. I thought Finucane was essentially his replacement." I got to tell you, I thought exactly the same thing. I saw Wadey on the sideline. I'm like, was he a trainer?
That's nice. that's nice. He's still getting around the boys.
John said, Moylan getting straight arm fended to the ground by the smallest player on the field is pure brilliance. Yes. Zoran said, looks like Griffin was too busy writing a submission paper to the NRL against having multicultural around than coming up with a game plan this week. Sharky Dave said, Karma is a beautiful mistress who delivers what you deserve the most. For Dragons fans, it's that sweet, sweet lost they most fear. JDHD44 said, it's appropriate that Saints is an anagram for Stains because outside of Ben Hunt, this team is an utter cumrag on and off the field. Junior Buff says, the Dragons still have a Corey Norman feel about them. Hashtag, you know the rules. B.43 said, can't even score on 11 men. Fold them and send them to the sun. Boo says, there's absolutely nothing from the Dragons' back three, always starting on the back foot. Their 8, 9 and 10 were extremely poor, added nothing in attack, especially around the ruck. Mbai literally added nothing. Also, they should move Bird to 13 to help with ball movement around the ruck. MJ Groom _AU. So continuing to see the Sharks having lots of off-season improvement. For me, the game was Kennedy and Talakai. Touch wood, Moylan may have even learnt how to tackle. Love how Moses pulled the dagger out for his old doggies mate and rammed Tolman. That was a fucking hit. That was the highlight. If you're a Saints fan, that's the highlight of your season so far. Well done. How good.
Moving along, the Warriors 16 defeat the West Tigers 12 at Campbell Stadium.
Why are you almost laughing when you read it? Why are you going to be like
Because this was like legitimately one of the most fucked games of rugby league that we've seen in quite
We're just
some
talking about
time.
Monday Night Football. This was a game worthy of Monday Night Football.
Oh, absolutely. The only thing that would have made this game more Monday Night Football is if it had been pissing rain. Now, the Warriors 16 tries to Ewan Aitken and Adam Pompey. Reece Walsh, 2 conversions, 2 penalty goals. The Tigers 12 tries to Tamau and Musgrove. Luke Brooks, 2 conversions. Now, Glennie,
Well, first things first, I feel like this game, and it doesn't sound like it, but as far as some of the chat coming out of the Tigers coaching staff, etc., but surely this cures everyone of Luke Brooks' so-called potential. Or they had 10 minutes to go, playing against 12 men, game on the line, came up with absolutely nothing. Not a decent last tackle option, no structure. Looked like he didn't want the ball in his hands, and it's not just on him, but that moment was an opportunity for him as the halfback to take control and show that he was capable of taking control, and he proved the complete opposite. Yep. I think when the opposition coach is bewildered that his side had played so horribly and yet won, it says everything about the Tigers. Like, Nathan Brown genuinely looked shocked and couldn't understand how they won the game.
Yeah.
Given how bad he thought the Warriors had played. So that tells you how bad the Tigers were. I've said once or twice over the years that, and predicted, and I've probably been off the mark a little bit, but I have predicted the Tigers to go through seasons undefeated. This year might be the defeated #defeated season. Because people are talking the Titans up, but we may not win a game for the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Is that the shirt of the year? Bizarro saying #undefeated.
Let's have like Bizarro Glenn, like a zombie looking Glenn.
No, it'd be Glenn with like lustrous flowing hair and a 6-pack.
#defeated asterisk. How good.
Fucking hell.
Love it.
But this one had the people complaining against being hauled off the field for interchange, and Robbie Farah allegedly telling them it's like, mate, don't blow up at me, it's that fucking cunt up in the box,
in the coach's box.
Yeah. It's very early in the season. This is the whole Tiger implosion, like the organisational implosion thing, doesn't usually happen until after Origin.
Yeah,
when mathematical starts becoming difficult. So, look, I think let's light candles. I mean, it's 2022.
After we pour the petrol, Nate.
Stepdad wants to go to Dairy Queen. Let's fucking give him a nice trip to Dairy Queen.
Be my Izzy.
And I just want to say, like, the Warriors in that last 20 were, borderline inspirational.
Yes.
The way, especially when they were down after the professional foul, they had every reason to fucking fold, because they're maybe not as terrible as the Tigers, but they're still not great, and like they had every reason to fold and concede the go ahead try or whatever, coming up to the death of that game, and the fact that they didn't, when they're a team that we know has defensive issues,
yeah.
There's a lot for them to take out of the way they just fucking hung in there. I don't have anything nice to say about the Tigers though, Glennie. I'm sorry.
Neither do I, mate, if it's any consolation.
One of the big worries with the Tigers at the moment, and I know this happens when you're down on your luck and skill and ability and good players, but seriously, so you look at Manly, and Manly rely very heavily on Tommy, yeah?
Yeah.
They have enough in the bag that if he has an ordinary night or somebody has an ordinary night, that they can sort of pick up in other areas. Like, Saab this year has had an absolute barrier of a season. And we'll get to that in the Manly game. But they've got enough elsewhere that they can try and at least salvage something else out of a game. Dane Laurie had a fucking shocker.
He did. I'm concerned that he showed some fucking borderline cowardice
Yeah.
going into contact and jumping fireballs.
Yep.
And that's a concern.
Yep, it is. But there is no way that the Tigers can make up for that in the course of a game. So anytime there is a slight setback to them, it instantly becomes terminal.
Particularly
it's
when
like
when Dewey isn't there and Hastings and
well, yeah, it's like the human body when it gets AIDS. It's not the AIDS that kills you. You'll fucking stub your toe and die from a blood infection.
yeah.
Is Robbie Farah the stub toe?
No, Robbie Farah's the AIDS.
He's the AIDS. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Dominic in the Facebook group said, "Yo, I'm a Warriors fanatic till the day I die. We suck, bruh. Like, I want to have Katoa's eyes so I don't have to watch this catastrophe." Hayden, did someone say pub slot game? More like stab my eyeballs and rinse them with bleach slot. Wow. If only we had Series 2 of Tiger Town, this game would have filled one episode. Yeah, it would have. Hey. MVP of the year, Shane Cash, said, anybody know someone in the MI who can dig a hole big enough to bury the Tigers? Sam said Dane Laurie has developed declinitis. Yes, he has. Joel said Dane Laurie has made the full metamorphosis from a top 14 player to biggest win you will get all season is 10 free spins. Norts said, with the Tigers in decline, would Glennie recommend a digger with a bigger bucket to dig a mass grave or a smaller digger for individual burial plots for everybody associated with this club? What would your professional recommendation?
Just one big hole. Just push them all in.
Okay.
Every last one of the guns.
Danny says Luke Brooks' time has come and gone. His potential has been reached, and he's on the decline for years. They've painted themselves in a corner by paying him $900K a season. No other team wants to take on that, and the Tigers can't afford to chip in as much as other clubs would want to take him on. I've been saying for years he needs to go. He should have owned that game last night, but once again he failed. They need to take the hit, move him on, or just drop him. Glenn, what do you do? Does that save?
You can't
match?
do anything till Hastings comes back. But
you've just said that you probably won't win another game, right? This is the perfect time to drop him.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I don't think he's the type of character that would be dropped to reserve grade and then, develop that chip on his shoulder and fight his way back and
No.
take the benefit. I think he, in a season's time, is playing park footy if that happens.
Yeah,
but
that's it. So,
yeah, it's not fucking happening. It's actually embarrassing to watch him show that he has no ability after this long playing in the NRL as a halfback. No ability to steer the side and no ability to and his teammates don't follow him. That's probably the most concerning thing.
yeah. But again, and it's not, to bring it back to the NBA, it's not like you have like a guard whose favourite player growing up was Shaq. So he's trying to play like Shaq and he weighs fucking 80 kilos. Or a 7-footer whose favourite player was Allen Iverson, so he's trying to cross everyone over. Like, there aren't that many great halves. Like, what are there? Are there half a dozen amazing halfbacks that Luke Brooks could just go and watch tape of?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that gets me. And if he's not doing it, if you've got someone in your business that isn't doing the right thing, Glenn, do you step in and go, hey, these are actually some pretty clear KPIs that I need you to hit, and I'm going to give you all the support in the world to hit them?
Yeah. But then what happens if they don't hit him? You continue that performance management out of the fucking business, right?
Yep.
How has he not been performance managed out of the Tigers before now?
Yeah, that's it.
You want to know? You know why? It's because of that year when he jagged the Dally M halfback.
They're still trotting that out.
But that's it. That was the thing that put like a hump in the middle of the process.
Yeah.
and it took him back to 100, and so it started so he could start to like just whittle away again, and it's like it started him like from solid ground, and whereas maybe he'd be washed out by now.
So on the Mount Rushmore of being saved by screwy election results, there's Luke Brooks and there's Donald Trump. Who else is on there?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
You finished with the socials on that one?
I'll give the last word on that to our friend King Levius. He said that was an absolute masterclass. Toying with the tick pies, making them think they had a chance. Putting 50 on teams is bad sportsmanship. Not my boys. True gentlemen of the game, keeping it close. How good.
The Rabbitohs defeated the Rabbitohs 28, defeated the Roosters 16, and the Rabbits' tries came through Cameron Murray, Latrell Mitchell, Alex Johnson, Cody Walker, Keon Kalamatangi. Latrell 4 conversions. The Roosters 16 came through tries to Teddy, Manu, Tupou with 2 conversions to Sam Walker.
I think Latrell is owning his heel persona, and I think his football is benefiting from it. I think he doesn't mind the fact that he's generated. It was certainly after the Joey Manu incident last year, he copped a lot of hate, and I think he's probably wearing it like a bit of a chip on his shoulder. Not that he needed one, but even when he scored the try, there was a bit of swagger, and scary as to how good he is when he's interested.
Yeah. And that's it. And there's this sweet spot for him that's where he's fired up enough to be interested, but he's not over the top where he starts doing crazy shit and where his opposite number gets in his head and forces errors and rash play out of him.
That's it.
I thought
he was definitely in that sweet spot in this game.
Sure. On that note, I think his opposite number in this game was in his own head enough. Fucking Tedesco had an uncharacteristic performance. Just holding the ball up half a second too long, or just trying to push a pass, or just silly decisions, especially deep in their own half.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's still suffering a little bit this season from. He's got to kind of unpack a little bit of what he was doing last season, because last season he was doing everything, and he kind of had to at times because he had inexperienced halves in there, and and even last season it didn't work at times, and he was kind of hogging it a bit, and that happened in Origin as well. But he's got healthy players back around him. He needs to sort of focus on what he does best and not try and make everything happen for the team.
Yeah, that's it.
I think the Roosters will be a better side if he finds that balance again. I think they'll be a far better side for it. But I thought it was a pretty intense game in large part, and there was some quality footy and also some, as you pointed out, Jay, just some errors when guys were put under pressure. Uncharacteristic errors from some quality players at key moments, and the Rabbitohs were good enough to take advantage of their opportunities, and they looked a whole lot better than they had the first couple of weeks. Especially
the defence. They rattled almost everyone on the park at different stages of that game, and then all of a sudden, guys are second guessing everything they're going to do, expecting to be fucking belted from the wrong side. So
I don't think this game, as much as he scored a try and did some good things, I don't think this cures Cody Walker's yips. I think he's got a few more games to go before he's hasn't looked himself.
But the Rabbits overall look much more like themselves, and it wasn't necessarily as dependent on Cody Walker. And it wasn't just like they weren't just throwing it left, trying to make things happen. I mean, Cameron Murray was fucking enormous.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Anything else to say on that one?
What a segue. The first tweet, or the first comment, Josh in the Facebook group. So the fact that Cam Murray is so handsome and so good at footy is enough to make me weep and splurge at the same time. There you go. Kurt said, Teddy, playing like he has DCE neuron syndrome. His brain snaps are like trying to spread Vegemite on saladas.
Oh,
God. And Tom said, Teddy tried to go full Tabasco and attack tonight, and it really cost the Roosters in the end. I definitely think it did.
That was it.
That's it.
Right, so we move on to Saturday afternoon, where the Penrith Panthers 38 defeated the Newcastle Knights 20 in a spicy one out there in Bathurst. The Panthers 38 had a hat trick to Taylor and May. For shame. Crichton with a try, Staines with a try, Targo with a double. Crichton 4 conversions, 1 penalty goal. The Knights 20 tries to Dominic Young, Tex Hoy, Bradman Best, and Inari TWiL. Clifford 2 conversions.
Mate, you should be the last person spruiking that if one brother outlives his usefulness, you should get rid of the rest of them in your club.
I'm not so. The Mays
You'd
have
be
never
fucking
been.
2 turbos lighter if that was the case.
The Mays have never been useful, and in fact, they've been just outright detrimental to the fucking to your entire side.
I'd suggest a hat trick. Says otherwise.
Yeah,
I'd say that's
Newcastle,
quite useful.
It's tonight, so I mean, thought I'd give.
Quite useful.
And I mean, 2 of them came after the Knights had had a player sent off as well. So I mean, 2 of them were straight up Darius Boyd, Queenslander tries.
I'm actually disappointed at what we didn't get to see for this game. Like these were the last 2 undefeated teams coming into this round. The Knights were on absolutely scintillating form. The Panthers had been scraping by, but apart from round 1, were probably well below their best. And then all of a sudden, I've gone back and I've watched it, and I've watched a couple of minutes either way of it. I don't even understand what Barnett was thinking in the context of the game.
Dog shot.
There is no. It's indefensible.
Think back to the Dragons Panthers game, and there was a fucking great battle all night between Jack Bird and Liam Martin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, ended up with Jack Bird all of a sudden, having the worst Oscar performance, including Will Smith this week. But that was a great fucking battle, and you would understand somebody getting frustrated or boiling over or whatever it is after 40 minutes of 2 blokes going at each other like that. There was nothing. Like, unless I've missed it.
But even in the context of the game, it's not like he was trying to give him a nudge off the ball, or he's just literally running past and elbowed him in the fucking face.
There was no running battle between those 2 that had extra spice or anything like that. And no, it was too early in the game for any of that shit to even develop.
So.
One of the worst, completely mindless acts of fucking thuggery I've seen in a fucking long time.
And thankfully he didn't fucking land it the way he probably wanted to.
Yeah,
because that was, ultimately it was a pretty poor effort as well. Which luckily. Yeah. Because and I mean, and I guess lucky for him too, because he's only gotten 6 weeks for it.
Yeah, fuck.
So which seems kind of light, really, for an off the ball.
It's only 2 degrees from smashing his jaw, really.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, well, absolutely.
Here's the other thing. Yeah, so I realise that they were without a player for the rest of the match, but it also means that Penrith are down a player on their interchange bench, which is not as much of a handicap, but it turned this game from what should have been a fantastic fucking contest into a game that the Panthers always knew they were going to win.
Yeah, and I think they played accordingly.
Exactly. They got a couple of tries up. They took their foot off the pedal a little bit. And to their credit, yes, Knights, here's some credit for you, they fucking didn't go away. They kept at him and kept at him and kept at him, and where they could have dropped their head, and that's the ultimate excuse for dropping your head.
Yeah.
They really stood up. And I think, Bess continues to be in incredible form. Like that try that he burned fucking Crichton. That was sensational. Clune's having an absolutely stellar season for them. But, unfortunately, because of fuckhead, Penrith go, they're getting a bit close. Yeah, shit, okay, we better click back in here. And then, bang, bang, another couple of tries. Okay, now this is back to how it should be. And the result was what it would have been, but fuck, I would have liked to have seen this proper contest.
How long's O'Sullivan signed with the Panthers?
I thought we got him on a 2-year.
Okay. Because
fresh deal.
he may not have a long future at the Panthers, but his next contract, he's not doing that any harm. The way that he's
Glenn's going window shopping looking for Luke Brooks' replacement.
Well, mate, honestly,
we've already got him. What are you talking about?
I had this
Jacko.
conversation with somebody the other day. I should say this evening. That's the best way to do it. If you can get an understudy role, and it's essentially what Nico Hines did at the Sharks. Like, if you're coming up behind a superstar in a successful team, that is about the greatest entry into a rugby league team or a first-grade career. And I know O'Sullivan's had first-grade experience beforehand. But where would you rather be at the moment? You know, in Chad's shoes, Ben Hunt's shoes, you know, Luke Brooks' shoes, or whoever comes in to replace Luke Brooks.
Fuck, they want to be in Luke Brooks' shoes.
Well, Glennie, who do you bring in now? You fire Luke Brooks, you can bring in any half you want. Do any of them guarantee that you make the 8?
No.
That's the thing.
Luke, I mean, as much as everyone hacks on Luke Brooks, he's a long way from our only problem.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If Nathan Cleary all of a sudden, you know, gets the shits with his dad and goes, I'm out of here, and joins the Tigers, then that doesn't guarantee him ongoing success.
No.
And the fact of the matter is, you are judged as a player on the success of your team.
Especially as a halfback.
Well, the only time that works the other way is if you have previously tasted success, which O'Sullivan hasn't done. So all he's done is guaranteed himself a fantastic team, guaranteed himself minutes around Origin and injuries.
Yep.
You know? Perfect. Well done. Good plan. It's almost like he must be a client of Strive Player Agency. It's that much of a masterstroke.
Tell you what, Strive needs to get around Tex Hoy. Fucking, how good did the Knights look with the fullback that wanted to attack?
Yeah, I know, hey. He's good. Socials, Ben in the Facebook group said, credit where credit is due. That was cunty. Dan said, dumbest dumb cunt play I've seen in a long time. Daniel said, Mitch Barnett is a fucking idiot. Cost us a brilliant contest. Fair play to the Panthers. Just scraping home against 12 men. It was a great game before the insanity. Jason said, Knights showing they're a better team without Ponga. Knights also showing they're a better team without Barnett. Joe, if I told you that one player will commit a hate crime during multicultural round, how short odds would Mitch Barnett have been paying? B.43 said the Newcastle KKK Knights. I just realised this tweet doesn't work so well in an audio medium because Knights has got a silent K. Need a massive cultural overhaul. 1988 needs to be a reference point, not a basis. We can remember the past without enacting it. Mitch Barnett shouldn't play again. Wow. I'd put out there that, you know, Penrith were great and the Knights imploded. Kel Davis 7 replied and said, I wouldn't say the Knights imploded. We had the momentum before Barnett was sent off, played the last 47 minutes of the game with 12 men who showed guts and grit to come within 8 points of the Premiers. 2 late tries in the last 4 minutes flatters the scoreline. Thanks for your kind words, Kelly. I would suggest that losing a game based on the stupid actions of one of your own players is pretty much the definition of imploding. Although I don't disagree with everything else you've said. Well done. That's us.
Moving on, the Parramatta Eels 28 defeat the Melbourne Storm 24 down there at the Korean Housewife. The Eels 28 tries to Gutho, Wanga Blake, Tom Opacek, and a double to Ray Stone. More on that, I'm sure, later. 4 conversions to Mitch Moses. The Storms 24, a double to Nick Meaney, Brandon Smith and Pappy with tries, 4 conversions for Pappenhausen.
Is there a moment that epitomises Ray Stone more than rupturing his ACL as he scores a match-winning try?
Yeah, I mean, look, this game, the ebbs and flows and fucking dramatics that it had were just incredible. And like you mentioned, it, like just the fact you go to Ray Stone, like we remember. I mean, he essentially cost them their prelim last.
I'll say that
season.
prelim last year was the worst game I've seen a human being have in a long fucking time.
And so
I'm a Tigers fan.
He essentially cost the Eels their chance to contest the grand final. And then even like, was it last week?
Yeah.
Unhappy again, comes in off the bench in this game, scores a try, and we're thinking it's redemption time. But no, Golden Point gets the old, it's probably not as neat as the old Greg Dowling Origin one, but I mean, he gets the bounce off the post and goes in and scores beside the sticks. And you're like, oh, and like I actually felt like, I hate the Eels, I hate the Storm, but I was like, fucking good on this guy. I mean, he's copped it. He just fucking copped it.
And he's a tough cunt. Like he takes his knocks, and he's not obviously blessed with the skill of plenty of other players in the NRL, but he's pretty tough. Unfortunately, he's not very good at passing the ball or catching it.
Which is a wonder why they chose to play him at hooker in a fucking semi-final.
And then then you think that's the last of the dramas, but no, he stays down and it's looking like it's an injury. But then they're like, then he's up celebrating with the teammates, a couple of minutes later. But then they're like, no, that you can still, he could definitely still walk on the ACL. That is not clearing him of anything. And but this game was a fucking cracking, entertainment value of this game was better than fucking most.
Yeah,
but certainly better than any other game this season. And probably going back away, just the punches and the counter punches from the two teams, the endless chaos of Gutho fucking them over when the Eels were looking like they were set to go ahead in regulation with the field goal, and Moses is screaming for the ball, and instead they spin it over to the left to when there was nothing on, and even like Moses getting his opportunity, getting a decent opportunity and missing. And just like the entertainment. I mean, both sides. Like it looked like the Storm were well, in the midpoint of that game. It looked like they were well in control.
In control, yeah, for sure.
And the Eels were sort of dropping off a little bit, but credit to them for sticking in there.
I think Para have a tendency, and they've shown it each week this season, that they have a tendency to switch off in games. The thing is, when they're playing against better teams, I feel like they can flick that switch and go with them. I feel like they struggle to turn it on against lesser opposition, though. When there's not quite that motivation, or they're expected to win. I think that sort of mentality could affect their ladder position in what's going to be a pretty tightly contested race for the top four.
Do you know where you don't tend to find lesser opposition? In the finals.
It's exactly my point.
So if I've got to choose between a team that, has a base level of consistency through the year, and a team that's got an extra gear when they go up against the best sides in the comp, fuck, I know who I'm taking.
Yeah, and now, and at least in many times in this game, it looked like the Eels, the defensive issues that they've had through the start of the season, are still there. But this game, the one thing they did find was their attack.
Yeah,
and it's really the first time this season that they've really. I mean, the Titans game was a points fest, but it was a Titans game. It was one of those sorts of games, but they struggled mightily against the Sharks, and then to come down into Melbourne against the Storm, who are a good defensive side, to fall behind and start to look like they're dropping out of the game, but then turn it around and come back and grind their way back to. I mean, because they almost had it in regulation. I mean, they got the first try of Ray Stone put them up, as time was running out, But yeah, I think it's a good effort for the Eels. I think if they can fix up their defence, they'll be looking good to be in the top four until they start their slide after Origin.
Jesus. Matthew. Wishing the Dogs have sent Knockenball to Melbourne and retained Meaney. Tell you, we fucking called it. Nick Meaney, superstar.
Yep. Just like every average guy that's gone down there before him.
Tell you what,
George Jennings's and
you'd be fucking filthy if you had a Nick Meaney autograph footy card that you fucking sold when he announced he was retiring from rugby league at the Dogs. Jesus Christ. Levi said that's one of the best endings to a game I've seen in a long time. Bench players for the win. Michael said, how does it feel, Stormers, to lose to a team with Wonga Blake on the wing? Yeah, well, had a very good game, Wonga. Ryan said, Ray Stone, scoring the most Ray Stone of try of all time. Side note, Mitch Moses, chinny chin, purposely hitting the post, disguised as a field goal attempt, knowing Stoney would be there to score. High IQ play. Hashtag fuck the Tigers. That's the sort of delusional bullshit we like on this show, so well done.
What about the Tigers drive-by? Dead.
The Canberra Raiders 24 defeated the Gold Coast Titans 22 in a strange fucking game. Saturday night, the Raiders 24 came through tries to Valame, Sebastian Chris, Charles Nickel Clockstart, and double to Timoko. Schneider, 2 conversions from 5 attempts. The Titans 22 came through tries to Sammy, Kelly, Bo Firma, and Big Tino, with Sexton 3 of 4 conversions. A game of 2 halves, completely first half, Titans half. And strangely, the Raiders turned it all around in the second half.
The anti-faders.
Unforgivable
from the Titans. 22-0 up.
Unforgivable from both of them because the Raiders were fucking disgusting in the first half. The way that they were getting thrown through, I believe, is what the Titans say they do.
What do they do?
In that first, they thrun through.
Right.
That's their hashtag. Hashtag THRUNTHRU. Thrun through.
You're a belligerent cunt of a thing. I feel like the Titans may look back on this game. Obviously, the one that got away, but could have that 2 points could dramatically change their ladder position. In a game that they were well in control of. Just like I say, unforgivable. They'll, as bad as Canberra were, the Titans look sharp and slick and fucking drop their bundle in the second half.
But this game had such an air of inevitability about once the Raiders got back, like they scored right on half time to make it 22-4, and after they scored their second try. And they were still only, what was 24-14 or something like that, or 24-16 because they're missing all the goals. And once they got that, they still had like over a converted try to make up. But there was just this feeling of inevitability about the game.
The wave was coming.
The wave was not stopping. And sure enough, it wasn't long before they hauled it in. But despite all of those tries and everything, I mean, how's Semi Valame? Titans with one last fucking crack from deep inside their own territory. Valame just shoots out of the line and murders Brimson, forces a knock on in the end of the game. Just tremendous.
I don't feel that the Titans have a go-to guy. You know that with the Raiders it's going to be come down to Whiten at some stage, or Papali'i's just going to take his 900th hit up of the game and carry 15 people over the line. But
shouldn't Fafita be that guy, though? If Papali'i's that guy for the Raiders,
100% he should be.
And again, Fafita, when he was running downhill, he was fucking unstoppable in this game. But in the second half, I think he did it once.
Yeah.
That's it.
And meanwhile, then you got guys like Tarpanay, just like, I mean, remember last year when he had the thing with his missus? Getting on Instagram or whatever. Like, the fucking time after that incident and in rolling into this season, he's been fucking unstoppable.
Yeah, you're right.
Way to respond. I'll give him that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. What did our socials have to say on that one? Matthew said, waiting to see which player's girlfriend Ricky blames this one on.
Bit early.
Said, can't call them the faders tonight. Thomas said, are they just playing a normal Faders game in reverse? If so, big brain play by Ricky. Scott said, this is the most Titans way to Titan. When can we just have two good halves of football in the same game? Pencil us in for a first round finals exit if we even make it that far. Yeah, who knows? Joshua said, I think it was Glenn who was sketchy on the Titans' defence, and the man was right. These cunts have fucked my perfect tipping week. On you, Glenny. There you go. There's praise for you.
Look out.
Norts.
Don't know what to
Game
do with
of
that.
two halves. Fafita needs to pull his finger out and get involved. Passing to flat-footed receivers in attack is under 7 level bullshit. That is correct. Chris said, great result and second half by the boys. Pity Titans have no fans, so no one to rub it into.
Oof.
Solzy
Also facts.
said, I fucking love Rapa. Make sure you read that right. I'm not a Dragons fan.
We ready to roll?
We're done.
Moving on to Sunday, the North Queensland Cowboys 38 defeated the Brisbane Broncos 12. Well, I mean, I was speculating. I'm not speculating, but I asked the question last episode. Will we get, do you remember the time when there used to be these 1 point, 2 point classic thrilling games? Will we get, because the teams that both sit on about the same level, will we see that sort of game again?
No.
Well, as it turns out, they're not sitting on the same level. The Cowboys are so far above the Broncos level right now. And they proved it as they defeated them 38 points to 12 at Suncorp Stadium in their own goddamn house. Holmes, Dearden, Griffin Yami, and a hat trick to Jeremiah Nanai, who fucking announced himself big time in this game. Holmes, 6 conversions and a penalty goal in a perfect night on the boot. And the afternoon, I should say. And the Broncos 12 came through a double to Herbie Farnworth and 2 conversions to Adam Reynolds. And my God, the gift of all time to fucking Herbie. That first try. What the fuck?
Yes. Indeed.
Just as the Courier Mail hype was starting to get back to its unbearable best, I feel like the Broncos got a real reality check and probably proved that, if nothing else, Reynolds isn't alone on his own, rather going to deliver the success that the Broncos and their fans expect. He's not the saviour. He's an important cog, but there's a lot more areas that they need to improve on to be competitive. And I thought the Cowboys just got on top just through sheer enthusiasm and got a roll on, and Broncos couldn't go with them. It was actually reasonably impressive from the Cowboys, I thought.
Oh, very impressive.
And the talk before this game that fucking Ming the Merciless said no to Reynolds. Did I miss that when it was, like, when all these trade things and contract things were happening?
Don't recall any conversation whatsoever about him potentially going to the Cowboys, no.
Yeah, wow.
So perhaps it was an internal thing that never got past that sort of, float the question stage. But,
yeah, okay.
But look, we have also heard from our sources as well that the Reynolds, there's far more to the Reynolds situation than meets the eye, and that the Rabbits offered him the 1-year deal because they didn't think that he'd physically be able to hold up to something longer.
I didn't think that there was any. I thought that was just common knowledge. I thought that was just out there in the public.
Well, we say that.
Yeah,
true. I mean, we've been saying it for how long?
Yeah, no, I know, but yeah, I thought that's what was reported at the time, that the Rabbits offered him a year and he didn't want it. But
no, but the reason why is because they didn't think that he could physically get through like a 2 to 3 year deal.
Yeah, that's it.
And they didn't want to deal with like like retirements that leave him on the books and that sort of thing.
Because he's always fucking injured.
Exactly. Some would say that's the case, Glennie. Some would say that's the case.
Best game Valentine Holmes has played in ever.
Since Gridiron.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Since
Gridiron.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
For sure. And maybe even before then. Maybe. Look, you know what? It's been a bit of a joke about Chad, going up on the big bucks up to North Queensland, but he was he was solid in this game.
I have to say, so far in 2022, I'm impressed by Chad Townsend. I feel dirty saying it, but And this
he's
game,
doing
I
what
thought
he's doing. What the
good.
best case scenario you think that the Cowboys hierarchy, the best case scenario they would have thought they're bringing him up there for is to be a steady, controlling, managing influence on the side, so guys like Dearden can grow. Because Dearden was obviously on a fucking hiding to nothing when he started at the Broncos. He was in a shit team, a shit organisation, shit coaching. No one around him had to do it. You know, he had to be the next Alfie Langer or whatever.
But this comes back to the Brooks conversation.
Yeah.
Like there are some great halves in the NRL at the moment. You know, some brilliant attacking minds, some amazing strategic game managers. But you just have to do a couple of basics really well to be an above average. You just have to do a couple of basics really well. You have to know when to run and be able to do it. You have to be accurate with your passing. You have to be serviceable that you're not a liability in defence. And you need to be able to dictate when it really matters where your opposition starts their sets from. That's it. You've got to have a basic knowledge of how you go about doing that, and you are an above average half in the NRL. Now, yes, there is the physical side of things that you've got to do all of that under fucking duress and stress and 80 minutes of fatigue and all this other stuff. But, Chad's just doing the basics.
Yeah, but I mean, Tom did, and now you're seeing him with a guy who is actually a steadying influence on the side, and then you're seeing Dearden with all of these great touches. I mean, like some of his kicks, you know, that resulted in tries were you know, pinpoint perfect. Scored a try himself, and you can just tell that he's, you know, actually starting to fucking develop.
Yep.
As a player.
Yeah, that's it.
Shock me.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? And look, and Chad deserves the credit where it's due.
That is true.
And he was a meme. Was he worth that much? You know, I still don't think so. But I'd say he's definitely doing exactly what the Cowboys expected from him when they
if they
signed.
You know, as a result of this next couple of years, they then get a long and successful career out of Dearden.
Yeah,
I'd say he's
job
worth
done.
every fucking cent.
Yep, correct.
Yep, job done.
Correct.
Okay, Sunday night.
Hang on.
The
Jason.
Oh, sorry,
on
I
the
forgot.
socials. Said, so far, Reynolds' kicking has been the difference for the Broncos. 2 out on the full in a row will do that. Yeah, that was ordinary. Ash.
When he's doing that, I mean, and that's like the some benefit of like their squad improvement over the off season.
That's it.
There's
See you
trouble.
later. Ash said the Broncos are getting on the bandwagon and fucking themselves. Cruzy said, I think we've rolled out our under-13s team today. Yes. Kyle said, Premiership contenders versus the wooden spoon contenders. Jordan said, Reynolds can just go ahead and kiss the Chad's ring. God damn, it feels odd being this happy with the Cowboys win. Ben very simply said, Chad is greater than Reynolds. And Toto said, Dolphins membership just went up another 1,000. I'll tell you, it's a real fucking worry for the Broncos. They needed a great season this season to stop the leakage of new members going to the team.
Yep. Exactly. And that's well, you know, you want to look at the Broncos. Is that all of the social media you've got?
That is.
There you go. I mean, Cowboys fans traditionally are not big writers and feedback givers for the show. The Broncos fans usually can't shut them cunts up, so I wonder what the common thread is. Moving right along to Sunday night, the Mighty Manly Seagulls 13 defeated the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs 12. Adds Brookie, the reconfigured Brookie, and I suppose we'll get into that as well. Manly tries to Tommy Turbo and Ruben Garrick. Garrick 2 conversions, field goal to Daly Cherry Evans, and the Bulldogs 12 tries to Wakeham and Burns, and 2 penalty goals to Matt Burton. Firstly, how good does that new fucking stand look? It'll be even better when they get the government money to fix up the rest of the stands, but looks tremendous.
It's actually architecturally looks quite nice, but unfortunately looks fucking ordinary with all those Manly fans in it.
And also, it's great that
the new looks quite nice.
Yes. Fucking Frank Lloyd Wright of the MI over here. And it's great that it's like that it's general admission too, and they haven't just jammed it full of season ticket holders and stuff like that. And like the conditions for this game, the other star was the absolute fucking pristine surface of Brookvale Oval. No longer the potato field or the cow paddock or whatever you wanted to call it. They during the construction of the new grandstand, they ripped the entire thing up and dug it halfway to China and resurfaced it from scratch. And the torrential fucking down. It's not often you see rain that heavy that it shows up on TV and you have trouble seeing what's going on because the rain's so heavy. And the field, like the players weren't really losing their footing that much, and it was absolutely bucketing down, but the field was held up great. The hill didn't hold up so great. I had some friends send me some photos from the hill perspective, and it was a fucking slip and slide. But the actual field itself was beautiful and in tremendous nick. With the game, similar to that second half and last week, the defensive side of things held together pretty well. And this time for almost the entire game. I mean, it had a rocky start, but after that they were good. The attack's still rusty. This time the attack where it's really rusty at the moment is in the red zone attack. Long range, both their tries were scored were very reminiscent of the sorts of tries they were scoring last year from sort of medium to long range out. And there were some other occasions too where Daly made a line break and was just ankle tapped, and a couple of sort of they only gave 4 line breaks that they couldn't complete. But the attack close to the line is still fucking shambolic, and it's not coaching, because I can tell you, even who's the worst coach in the competition at the moment?
Des Hasler.
Trent, let's say Trent Barrett. Even Trent Barrett, in all of his fucking Trentius genius, wouldn't say in the video sessions as a part of a game plan, look, guys, when we get close, 5 meters out, let's really fucking surprise them. And what I'll get you to do, Marty, is instead of take a fucking hit up like I'm paying you to do, what I'll get you to do is run up to the ball, start a step with the ball in both hands, and then here's the big fucking knockout punch. Try a chip and chase. No fucking coach in the world is telling Marty to take a fucking chip and chase.
Well, here's the thing. Look at last year. You had Panthers, you had the Storm and the Eels. Who else was in there right at the end? Manly?
Souths. Did you say Souths?
Yep. Only 2 of those teams have state of origin halfbacks, and Manly's coming second last. So the worst coach in the NRL at the moment is Des Hasler.
Ridiculous.
As of this
Absolutely
round.
Fucking ridiculous. And congratulations to Desi as well, picking up his 250th victory as a coach in the milestone game. And it was also the milestone game for one Trent Barrett. It was his 100th game as an NRL coach. And like 99% of the games that preceded that one, it also ended in an L. The Doggies they've spent a lot of money this year, and I don't think that it's going to do anything positive net effect, because once teams realise, which Manly did after fucking 20 minutes, that the only players they have that can actually contribute positively are Matt Burton,
yep,
and the Fox.
Correct.
So the Fox isn't dangerous.
Pango Jr. is a fucking liability.
He's like a fuck. And I don't think they get. I mean, surely though they had a budget of like penalties and dumb shit that they expect out of him.
Yeah, you
but I
factor
think
it
he's
in.
exceeding it. Well, yeah, but I think he's exceeding their projections. But the thing is that Fox is not dangerous unless someone can put the ball in his hands or get close enough with a kick to for him to do something. The only time he's dangerous is broken field, off a kick return, things like that. Burton, on the other hand, at the moment, the only danger he has is in torrential rain, kicking up those fucking wobbly kicks that he's great at kicking. That's it. He's not creative, and I mean, I know that the Doggies don't have a halfback for him. And last night at the Reggie's game, Avarillo fucking killed it. killed it after getting dropped by Trent Lee for this one. They dropped Ockenbaugh, who we were talking about how hopeless he is. But what happened anyway? I mean, they still got raped down that side of the field, anyway, with whoever they put in there. I can't even remember who they put in there to replace him. But look, Braden Burns, I think it was. Look, I like the better signs around the defence and just the intent in defence. Better signs around just general control of the game in terms of earning repeat sets and keeping. They kept the Bulldogs pinned down in their half for the vast majority of the second half, in what was still a one score game when they really had to, and scoring clutch field goals to win games is fucking bread and butter for Daly. So I mean, it's not even worth talking about. I mean, he does it so easily, and but. And Tommy Turbo, not a flashy game, but he had a good game.
Stats wise,
like over 250 or 230 meters plus. Garrick was fucking great, and the thing I love about Garrick is he's deceptively fast. Like, you don't think of him as one of the real speedsters of the NRL, but he burns the opposition wingers off and fullbacks off regularly. And just with speed too. I mean, they'll give him a bit of the sideline because it's a rainy day and they underestimate his speed, and he'll take it and he'll beat him. And goal kicking fucking on point, and Jimmy needed it. Look, last year there was a game against the Warriors. It was dour, clumsy, fucking terrible fucking game that was ultimately won by a Daly Cherry Evans field goal, 13 points to 12. And that's what started the whole fucking thing. So let's hope history repeats.
I think you're lucky in this one that the Dogs just didn't have the cattle or nouts to really capitalise on Saab. And he looks absolutely terrible under high balls. And he
worse than Dane Laurie?
Yeah, no.
As a whole this season, yes.
No.
As a whole this season, yes.
No,
and
he looks a bit nervous at times, but also he's just getting smashed as he takes it as well. So they're doing a good job of like restricting the meters he has to run with as well.
That's it. So that's the blueprint for Manly. You can negate a lot of the effectiveness of people like Tom if you can keep them pinned there all night.
Yeah, and you see, and I saw some things they're starting to do to mitigate that, because one of the things they're saying about Tom is that they'll kick the ball on the last, he'll get it and he'll get tackled, and then that sort of takes him out of the next play, and so now. But I've seen now in the last game, now they're basically, even if he takes it, he's giving it to someone else, so he's there for the next play and then one after. And I'll tell you that Tom and Dylan Walker absolutely put people like Marty Tapau to fucking shame when, like, the runs that they made into the teeth of the defence when it fucking counted, right through the guts in the middle, when the forwards are not fucking, when they're getting fucking, nowhere, particularly Tapau. I mean, Paseka, I don't think he can't defend very well. However, Paseka is a guy that runs the ball like a fucking, like a prop, like he fucking means it.
Yeah, that's it.
Marty Tapau, it shits me to tears when you run up to the line with the ball in both hands and then do like a stutter step thing. Motherfucker, tuck that shit. Tuck it under your arm.
Yeah.
And battering, that's what you're being paid for. And then if you get your shoulders free and the opportunity presents itself, perhaps you can look for an offload.
Pop it up. That's it.
That's it. That's your fucking job, mate. Yes. And, troops coming back from injury, so we'll see how things change. But now, finally, after like the first 3 rounds, there's going to be some competition for positions in the prop area and also in the back row. So hopefully that'll and centre. I'll give you the inside word this week. You know
what? One thing I don't think Des Hasler ever does. Like, you look at what he did at the Bulldogs. He had a fucking horrid forward pack, and he just kept playing them. He just kept playing them. So I'm not sure there'll be all those changes.
We're going to have garlic sauce will be coming back, and so garlic sauce will be he would definitely go straight into the fucking. He'll go straight into the side, and that'll firm up the middle a lot as well, particularly in defence. And then you're gonna have Schuster come back into the side.
So you reckon
which
he'll make
is
the 8 this year?
Fucking make top 4, no problems.
Fuck. Okay.
No problems. Motherfucker's got short memories.
Okay.
Short fucking memories.
Do you want to shave your beard, bet on it?
I'm gonna shave my beard off this year anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Terry.
So yeah, I'll keep it. If we make top
Said,
4.
Manly celebrate like they have won the grand final by getting a very jammy win against the Wooden Spooners.
Jammy implies that there was luck involved, not total control throughout fucking 60 minutes.
Oh, there was luck.
What was luck?
You're unlucky.
There's nothing lucky about it.
You're unlucky that you signed Daly Cherry Evans.
Yeah, who also incidentally was made 5 tackle busts, 1 line break, and 25 out of 25 tackles. So, so yeah, he was fucking terrible. And he kicked the winning field goal. Yeah, he was fucking shit.
Cool. 100%. Cool. You've got Russell Westbrook.
Figure it out.
Stats. Great stats.
Yeah, won the game. Won the game for the
Daly
side.
Cherry Westbrook. Why not?
Won the game for the
Buy
side.
yourself a pair of them and call them Jordans.
You keep talking about basketball. I mean, watch a rugby league game and you might fucking know something.
Ben says, is Trent Barrett coaching both teams? Yes. Reading in the paper how much Daly Cherry Evans fucking loves Trent Barrett. I think he's coaching both teams.
He's an ambassador for the game. He doesn't want to bring any spite into things. Fucking ornament of the game. Absolute statesman.
Listen, I'll sit here and I'll listen to you cunts carry on. Daly Cherry Evans plays for Manly. Manly does nothing but bring spice to things. That's what they fucking do. As a club, as a fan base, and throughout their fucking history. So don't you sit there and
You're
say
telling
that
on yourself,
anyone...
Clenny.
Sorry?
You're telling on yourself, mate. You're telling on yourself.
How so, mate?
If you are an individual whose heyday of watching rugby league wasn't in the 80s, and that's you, I would say your heyday of watching rugby league was 2005, and like the 90s to 2005, that's when you really got into the game, right? Anyone who really started watching the game in the 90s onwards and hates Manly only do it because they heard their fucking poppy talking about it.
And
they're fucking sheep with no fucking...
Motherfucker, I was going to Whitcomb Oval watching Manly play Western Suburbs when I was fucking 5 years old, cunt. So don't fucking tell me about the 90s.
But these days, no one actually hates Manly. It's pity. I've said this before.
No one pities Manly. Fucking Manly are awesome. They're the people's team.
It's fucking
people love them.
Manly fans don't count as people. Shut up.
It's fucking pity. When Delta started going through northern Sydney, every fucking Australia went, oh, that's a shame. They just pity Manly. Fucking pity it. Robbie said, fuck
Delta
me,
Goodrum
Manly
got to do with anything
crap right now. The location.
Oh, fuck.
Lucky we played Barrett tonight. Yes, you are very fucking lucky. Aaron Marr, the fucking goat. So today was all about remembering the great Bob Fulton. And how do they do this? By beating last year's Wooden Spooners by 1 point. They may as well have dug up Robbie's corpse and shat down its throat. Disgraceful display by this bunch of self-entitled fuckwits.
Oh, Aaron, I'll answer your comment with a question of my own. How many fucking games has your team won this year?
I'll tell you.
What do you bring it back to that?
Do you know what this whole thing reminds me of? Reminds me of the fucking Russian UN ambassador. Every time somebody gets up and just says what everybody in the world knows to be true, he just starts sprouting some fucking, we are liberating them. It's fucking terrible. Bennett.
Okay, Jay. The West Tigers haven't fucking lost all of their games. You're right. I'm sorry for the misinformation. Please continue.
Why are you going to spread fake news, Nathan? Jeez.
No, Aaron didn't say they had won a game. Now you're making things up that didn't happen and putting words in his mouth. Don't put words in the goat's mouth. He said that you metaphorically shat down Bob Fulton's corpse's throat. He didn't say the Tigers had won a game.
Also, if we did do that, literally, not metaphorically, if we even literally did it, good. Yeah, I fucking said it. Fuck that guy. He employed Trent Barrett at the fucking club. So I hope we did fucking shit on him.
That is full time for episode.
And just in case I wasn't clear, I hope they shut down Bob Fulton's dead fucking throat, popped it up, put it into a fucking fire, burned it up into ashes, and then flushed that down extra shit.
For consideration at this year's Oscars, Bob Fulton in Weekend at Blumpkins.
Oh, wow.
Oh, how good. That's us. We're done. We got through it.
Oh, that's it. We did it. Amazing.
We're all alive. Daly Cherry Evans still sucks.
Daly Cherry Evans still amazing. One of the greatest halfbacks in the game currently, and certainly ahead of some of the other that people would be more fancying. Shout out to fucking Joe Palazzi, who set himself up for some monumental fucking L's in the Facebook group this week. Now, I haven't done the tipping for a couple of weeks because I've fucking forgotten. So let me check. I'll open up the results now. All right. Oh, gee, I'm not going well. Our top tipper at the moment. It's great. It's someone that's been around the show for such a long time. Old Mitch Doyle, Sharks fan.
Yeah,
obviously
good.
As people's fortunes often go in tipping competitions,
Yes,
they go as per the side they support.
That's it.
And so he's up there. We've got in second place at the moment. We have Christy, followed by Mitch Rich, furry comedian, Troy Schroeder. He's been around a long time. Nat, Alpha Ben RL, Willie Smash, Big Dan the Man, one of our wonderful patrons, and Benny Tippy. They ran out the top 10, and at the moment, obviously, we're only a couple of rounds into it, so it's all very close at the minute. But
this is exactly as the competition will finish at the end of the round, so if you keep tipping this way, you will win. So the top 10 won't change.
If everyone keeps tipping eight from 8 from more, yes, that is true. Then no one will be able to catch them. Yes, you're right.
Fantastic.
There's only 20 odd to go. So this one's a bit late. So we are going to be back again tomorrow with the preview episode, and talk to you then.
There you will.
Later.
See ya.